Right now, Mama Robin is sitting on the edge of the nest, just looking around. So many flowers on this climber this year. She's in here. The jewelweed's gone crazy this year. It's going to be amazing for the hummingbirds. Yes, you see her? The bees on the roses. It's weird. There's so many flowers this year. There's hardly leaves left. This plant has really just gone all out on flowers. Let me show you around some of the rest of the garden here. These pots are mint. Started out with the mints back in that tea garden. Oh, look. Robin's scolding me. I don't want to stress him. But we went to individual pots because it was all kind of hybridizing, getting to be about the same. This hill is all kinds of herbs. You can see the sage is flowering right now. I should probably cut a lot of that off so it doesn't just start going to seed, but it'll keep producing the sage leaves. There's thyme and oregano, parsley, all kinds of stuff in here. Mugwort, motherwort, onions, chives, basils, a little bit of everything. It comes back every year. Right now I don't know if that's winter creep or whatever that is. It's one of the invasives. It's not really good here. Oh, look, there's a bee war. Chasing each other off from the sage flowers. I don't know if the bigger bee's gonna win or not. There's plenty of flowers for everybody, guys. Anyway, this is the herb hill. Last year, the passion flower came in and kind of took over in here. May do that again this year, but I like the passion flower fruits, so I wasn't mad. This is a spot I use for putting minerals out for the butterflies. I keep some water in it. Not much water at the moment, but there's kind of mud in there. Try to keep water all around the garden in different forms, like different shallowness, depths of containers, because all the creatures need water. This is the herb garden. In the back of it, over here, in the light green planter, I'm trying to get a morel patch going. I've ordered morel spores from 6 different places. In all of them, you put the spores in whatever medium they come in, like sawdust, into a bucket of water and let it sit for a day, and then you pour that on the soil. I probably need to put some amendments in there. Right here, the dark green planter, I put in 5 asparagus crowns, and it was only like 2 weeks ago. 3 are up already. Those are just going to put energy into the roots, those 3 that are up. In the back of that bed is some lavenders. I still love my lavenders. This tree is not supposed to be here. I think it's a hackberry, but it's in a container that I was trying to grow teaberry in, and I really need to take all this other stuff out. Everything's been wanting to grow in that container. It kind of helps hold the herb hill in place. Over here is the winter sowing. It's going really, really well this year. Stuff on this side is mostly the native orchids and that sort of plant. I was trying to do an experiment and see if I couldn't grow from seeds in winter sowing. I'm getting some things coming up in the pots, but I don't know yet if those are actually the seeds that I planted or just other seeds that got in. And some of these other things are coming up. Probably in a month these will be ready to go. We got spotted bee balm, lance, leaf coreopsis, buttonbush, royal catchfly, lots of pale purple coneflower. That was one of the seeds I ordered from is it Roundstone. It's a native seed company that does really good work. I'll have to look it up. I'm blanking on the name. But, yeah, we got lots of stuff coming, even the purple lovegrass. I'm not sure if that's the same as pink moly grass. People have so many different common names for some plants, but maybe it's a different plant. See, the strawberry patch is doing really nicely this year. I had a lot of flowers on it. Hopefully that translates into some berries. Maybe even one for me if the squirrels allow it. This is a threadleaf coreopsis in here. It's not getting a lot of light right now because of the strawberries doing so well. I have a lot of these nursery pots. I probably have half a dozen at this point. When I get plants that are too small to go out into the garden, I'll put their little pots in this bigger pot to kind of keep an extra eye on them until they're ready to plant out. That's one of the little 9-gallon micro ponds back there. You can see the American water lily has come back. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Nymphaea odorata. It's a white flowered lily. Maybe it'll flower this year. And the blue flag iris. And lots of ferns in here. This fern bog was the first little area I planted trying to do the natives. There's fruit trees in this section. We've got persimmon. We've got plum. Lots of things going on. Those are native fruit trees. Lots of others too. It's pretty interesting how many native fruit trees we're ending up with. Lots of black cherry, of course. These are some more of the winter sowings. This, there's some of the, is it Roundstone? Whatever that company is. I bought about 6 kinds from them this year, including the Plains Coreopsis. That looks like it needs to get more room. Yeah, this stuff is coming. It's just not really ready yet to be planted out. Decided I want to get the silver maple out of the yard because there's silver maple babies everywhere. And I learned that they have a bad habit of falling on houses. They have kind of a shallow root system compared to other trees. What's this coming up over here? This is Maryland Senna. Isn't that a pretty little plant? Got Virginia waterleaf. That's new here. Pale purple coneflower is new here. Several different kinds of milkweeds. Swamp rose mallow. That's getting close to being big enough to transplant. Got some zinnias started. Butterflies love those, and bees. Some of these look a little worse for wear. They had starts in them, But with having people over to the plant stand, I had somebody bring a dog in that walked through some of the containers. It just didn't know, and they weren't on it. And we've lost some plants. But there's going to be so many that in the long run, that won't make any matter. I love dogs. Cats, not so much. There's neighborhood cats that come into this yard and they kill bunnies and birds, and that's not real cool. A dog might step on some plants, but it's not going to kill anything. Well, maybe an opossum, but opossums are good at playing dead and then they can get away. Anyway, so that's some of the winter sowing coming up. This is the giveaway stand. I've done a good job of giving away extra plants. Haven't had anybody drop many off yet, maybe a plant here or there. There's lots of trees here to be given. Black cherry, catalpa. Got plenty of silver maples, if anybody would for some weird reason want one of them. There's a maple illness in our area. And people are worried with so much of our tree canopy being maples that virus, whatever it is, could take out so much of our tree canopy. That's my bucket of doom. And I got a little tray of purple cone flowers. I was hoping to plant those at the zoo, but we're running into a lot of resistance there. I wanted to have native beds, and they agreed to that. But then the horticulturalist wants 90% of every bed to be Lariopie because it's safe and it's easy, which I get it, but it doesn't inspire me to do a native bed because he's not making room for natives with all of his Lariopie. These are winter sowing that's come back from last year that didn't do much last year, but now it's all starting to look pretty good, and I need to find some spots to get it planted out. More of that in here. That's a leer leaf sage. A little cedar. I think that was one that Julie Speedy gifted us. Lots of good plants in here. Nine bark, it's first year blooming. See it right here beside the car. This is all wing stem, and it's too close to the driveway. I'm gonna have to Chelsea chop that stuff hard so that it doesn't get crazy over here. See, Eastern Blue Star's flowering. That moved itself here. I planted it in the front of the house, and this is the back. I keep getting a lot of milkweed popping up because our neighbor last year cultivated a whole patch when they just neglected their yard for most of a year. It's easy enough to take out, and it's a good native. It just spreads so much, it's really aggressive. You can see in here I've got a nice patch of common milkweed started too. There's the golden Alexander, or golden Alexanders. I'm still not clear why some people say it as a plural and some people say it in the singular. I've never seen that issue with other plants. Maybe there are some. There's some of the little trees that we just planted. These big guys on this side are the invasive, super aggressive Asian mulberry, and our new neighbors that just bought on this side are going to help me get rid of those this fall, and I couldn't be more excited. Some Virginia creeper coming up on that one. It's a native, but it can take over, so I don't really encourage it. That's pretty much this side. There's a saying with native gardens. First year they sleep, second year they creep, third year they leap. I think this is going to be a leapity-leap year here. Because a lot of this is coming into being here multiple years. See, when the sun hits that solar pump, it's moving. As long as your water's moving, you should be all right with mosquitoes. Moving water doesn't allow their eggs to go. Here's another little bird bath. I've got little bird baths all over, little water features for all the critters. So that's the herb garden, the fern bog, the strawberry patch, the jewelweed patch, the climbing rose. This section is kind of evolving. This is part of a spiral walking path with a raised bed between the paths. And I started it out doing hugelkultur, at least knee-high pile of logs, and then put dirt over top of it. But that was about like 7 years ago maybe. And that's all just decomposed and sunk down. And I really miss having it raised up. So this little section was mostly the New England aster, and then I had some Virginia daylily beside it. Put in some obedient plant. And there's some river oats here, there, and everywhere in the garden. Some in here. There's a shrub in here. I forget which one. Probably another 9-bark. A lot of obedient plant now. And I don't know, I'll probably be thinning out some of this. I keep taking it out of the paths. That's the first easy place to take it out of. But anyways, this will be flowering all summer. Beside the deck, see there's river oats, orange jewelweed, there's a 9-bark, there's trillium in there, and then to the blueberry bushes at the end, some strawberry bushes in there. Here's Mama Robin doing her thing. This is a trellis I put in for the maypop, passion flower fruit, and trumpet vine. And there is some on it. I'm sure it'll be popping up and I'll be able to get it trained on here. But it's also going to pop up anywhere else at once. See, there's mayapple down there. I just planted that this year and it came up, which is pretty cool. But I don't know if it'll flower and fruit this year. That fenced area is where my native orchids start. There's some trumpet vine wanting to come up in there that I need to move. Native plants, it's always something. I think this is passion flower fruit coming up, but I'm going to have to move back over towards the trellis, or move the trellis to it. I don't know. We'll find out. This is the tea garden. And I'm trying to do an espalier set of plum trees, native plums at the back of it. I planted 3. I think there's just one surviving in the middle. But we'll keep trying. This is an evil porcelain berry vine that's native to Asia. That wants to take over everything, and I gotta keep pulling it out. So there's a lot of mints and bee balm and different monardas, anise hyssop in this section. I actually also put some tea plants in here. They're in these cages, but I don't think they have much of a chance. I just don't think they're gonna get enough light and heat and everything to do what they're supposed to do down there. May as well take that out. So back here, behind the bench I'm working on, we've got a pawpaw. Although, look at that. It's sure getting eaten this year. I planted 3 or 4. I think this is the only one surviving. It'd be really cool if we could get some pawpaws going. This area behind the garage and shed is the ark. I just leave this little bit back here wild. And that's pretty much the little spot where the creatures can take shelter. This is the river oats, or inland sea oats. Another cedar. This mess is the infrastructure for the concrete bed I'm building. I need to pull all of these invasive plants off of it. Between the weather and having broken my leg, it's put some optional projects like that on hold. All the orchids I put in, I fence off from the bunny. Still waiting to see if these guys come up this year. This was rose begonia orchid. It's another wild cherry. It's taller than me this year. Another one there, way taller than me. This is the gray dogwood Dee Dee gave me. I think this is going to be its first year flowering. And here we've got some horseradish. Lady slippers are here in the middle, the yellows. And then there's a lot of pinks and a bunch of other orchids planted in this fenced area. And we got the giant cutleaf cone over here and a lot of elderberry coming up. A little this, that, and the other. There's some scarlet bee balm in here. This is where I'm playing around with some water-loving plants. These are the flag irises, some ferns. Just this year I planted in a bunch of trout lily and dwarf purple cress iris, a bunch of other stuff. We'll see what comes up. The mountain laurels I tried to plant back here didn't take. They were in bad shape when they came. And the person I bought them off on eBay last year, Mountain Elegance 23, told me that they didn't take. Let him know this year and he'd replace them. But I emailed him a month ago and haven't heard back, so who knows. I may need to find a different source. Everyone's willing to take your money, but not everybody's willing to help you grow something. This massive tree is on the neighbor's property, and this is where we get a lot of hawks and owls. There's a pair of nesting hawks in the neighborhood here. But they really just let it go, which is fine, except that then it's more of these invasive plants jumping the fence into my yard. You can see all the winter creeper. I get a lot of poison ivy out of there coming over to this side of the fence. A ton of porcelain berry vine that just wants to choke out on every tree. And same with these neighbors back here. They won't work with us on controlling their mulberries at all. We spent a lot of money last year cutting back bare branches that were so far over the yard, they reached into the center of the garden to the edge of the garage. There may be a chainsaw accident one day, y'all. Forgive me. With how much shade they throw, it's really hard to get other trees that are beneficial to the environment to grow back here. Anyway, hopefully at some point I'll have my bench done. It's a crescent-shaped bench that will have a Celtic design on it, kind of like the little bench in the middle that I made. And we'll look out on the garden. And when we get that done, I'm going to extend and make a real pond all the way in here in front of it. Over here, this started out kind of as a nursery bed on the right. We got cup plant and some things coming up. This is winter sowing from not this year, the year before that. And there's things coming up in it. And it just may be seeds that are blown in and nothing related to what I planted. But some of it might. We'll be checking that out. See, there's a lot of blackberry coming up. I planted southern blackberry and southern dewberry, native plants, and also this empire grape. And I'm needing to get some kind of trellis system for the empire grape because it's going wild. But I've heard multiple people say it's going to be a good year for blackberry. I think we're going to have a lot of blackberry. You can see the flowers getting ready. There's yarrow in here. There's columbine in here. Columbine hasn't grown a lot. It just may be too shady. It usually gets about one flower. I might need to try that in some other places. We had 2 cedars in here that the windstorm took out a couple springs ago. I left one of the trunks and put one of my bird baths on it with a little fairy design. But yeah, I'm kind of picturing this as a bramble over here, just berry brambles of various sorts and grapes. coming. This is the Peace Pole project. I make them out of recycled posts that I find. It started as a project in Japan. I gotta move those guys. I can't have berry brambles right in my path. That will not end well. There might be 100 of these I need to get rid of. I don't know. But they're gonna have to be moved. Anyway. They started in Japan and it's gone around the world, and it just says on them, may peace prevail on earth, and it's to raise awareness of peace when people see them. And each side of the pole, you choose a different language to say that same message on. So, I think I've got Irish and Scottish, Gaelic, French, Welsh, Cornish. Tried to get all the Celtic languages. I think I've got Spanish somewhere. This one just has an Irish peace prayer, deep peace of the running waves to you, if you've ever heard that one. And it's just, it adds a really nice, peaceful theme to the garden. At some point they'll probably need to be retouched, but not yet. This is another one of the little micro ponds over here. It's got 2 pumps. Well, this is a regular solar pump, and then this is one that has a cord that goes out to a panel, so you can put that where you think it'll get the most sun. I added some swamp rose in here this year. There's a lot of other plants in here, the leatherleaf verbenum, little evergreens, a lot of mulberry that just wants to grow everywhere, and this leatherleaf mahonia I'm always trying to kill. Why would you want to kill that? Well, I'll tell you, it gets a big cluster of berries on it. The birds eat it, they poop it out in the forest, and then there's strands of this really sharp type of holly, leatherleaf mahonia, that chokes out native plants. So there's one on this side of the house, one on the driveway side of the house, and I cut them back all the time to the ground, and they keep growing up. So at some point I probably need to yank those roots out, and same with these evergreens. And the tall structure in the front there is an American holly, so it can stay, although it's not in a great spot. It's beside the neighbor's driveway. And this porcelain berry vine overtopping the viburnum, wanting to take everything over. It's hard to remove that this time of year. You got to be so careful, and I really try to leave it because birds nest in that stuff. You don't want to destroy that. It doesn't get a lot of sun, but it's enough to keep the pump going, which keeps the water moving, keeps the mosquitoes out. See, there's also a mosquito dunk in there. It's got a bacteria in it. It's a beneficial bacteria. I believe the way it works is that if the mosquito does lay eggs, it makes any of the babies sterile. So it's a longer term solution to mosquitoes in the yard. This is a pairing I just did this year because they both like a little acid. These are blueberry bushes, and I added some new teaberry plants in there. Eastern teaberry, also known as wintergreen. These are so good, so delicious. I think I'll take one and plant it right now. Who knows, maybe that'll grow into a teaberry. But the birds love them. I'm surprised it survived with all those berries on there. Some strawberries here. I'll put strawberries in the basket again, probably. This trellis is meant to be elderberry, and you can see it's going a little bit crazy. And I need to do some work to get it to the trellis. But I'm not going to do that until I take off all but the last 5 feet of this silver maple. I'm going to leave it about 5-6 feet tall so I can hang bird feeders on it and just keep it that way. The trumpet vine, I think that's called trumpet vine. Anyway, one of the native vines that I've planted there, it needs a little bit of restructuring to train it on the trellis. That's the back garden right now. There's a lot out front too. 9 bark. That's pretty much the party in the backyard. There's still native plants that aren't back up yet, but they will be. Tell you what, guys, if I can do this, you can do this. How about adding a native plant to your yard this spring? You won't be sorry. This jewelweed, man, it's going to be covered in little orange trumpet-shaped flowers. And it's going to be a hummingbird buffet. We're going to get to watch all the hummingbirds. The life that this supports is just amazing to me. This is in the center of a city, a region of more than 1 million people. In the center of America. Louisville, Kentucky. These cedars are just 11 years old, going on 3 stories high. You could do this. You could actually do a lot better. This is just me. Thanks for visiting the Celtic Spiral Garden.